This was one of those few moments in history where dozens of African ethnic groups who had never fought together before rose as one. And what was the reason why? A single message. Enough. Enough. The Maji rebellion wasn't just a revolt. It was one of the earliest displays of African unity against European rule, and it terrified the Germans. German East Africa, present-day Tanzania, had become a pressure cooker. Heavy taxes, forced cutting labor, and brutal punishments for refusing to do any of these things. Entire communities worked for colonial profits, not themselves. And in that tension, a voice arose. His name, Kinjekitile. He was a spiritual leader who told the people, "You are stronger together than you think." Kinjekitile introduced Maji, sacred water that he claimed would protect them in battle. But this is what the outsiders missed. The Maji wasn't about magic, it was about belief. Belief that the Germans weren't invisible. Belief that unity could be more powerful than fear. And suddenly, Yao, Ngoni, Ngido, more than 20 ethnic groups began to rise. Villages that never shared a language, shared a purpose. They swept through German stations, they destroyed plantations and reclaimed territories. For a moment, Germany was losing an entire colony, and then they responded with extreme force. Machine guns against spears, scorched earth tactics, burning farms, poisoning wells, destroying food, and the result was catastrophic. Over 250,000 Africans died. One of the deadliest anti-colonial uprisings in world history. But the Germans also learned something they refused to admit. African unity is powerful. And Africans today need to understand this. African unity is powerful. We may not be carrying guns now or throwing spears, but today, if we unite, we can unite on different fronts. When people set aside tribal, linguistic, and regional differences, colonial power becomes unstable. The Maji rebellion planted a seed, the idea that freedom required unity. Freedom requires unity. And we need to understand that. Once again, I'm saying it. We can unite on different fronts. It doesn't have to be war. Decades later, this same spirit would fuel independence movements across East Africa. They didn't just fight the Germans. They proved unity was Africa's greatest weapon. There's technology, there's art. There are different fronts on which we can unite against colonial powers. Whether you like it or not, they still exist. And to be able to conquer them, we need to unite. Logically speaking, no African country is actually big enough to fight this thing alone. Logically speaking, we don't have enough resources alone. We don't have enough wealth alone. We don't even have enough intelligence alone. We need to unite as countries. Currently, in the modern day Africa, we need to unite as countries to fight against colonial powers. You see, Africa is actually very dangerous to oppress. But we Africans, we don't know that. If you can unite against whichever oppressors there may be, we can win. But until we realize that we are better together than apart, we are not going anywhere. Until next time.